All right, these dapples came out really well. And so now I think we could focus on the neck. So we're just going to repeat the process. We're going to get everything wet. And I also discovered that this paint lifts pretty nicely with the scrubber. So that'll be fun to carve out some of these little contours in the horse's face. I'll be using a scrubber to lift out the contours, but more on that soon. Let's focus on this task at hand. And we'll do this neck. I'm going to paint the clear water right up to the edge of the mane and the ear, and go right on into the face here. But I'm going to focus just on this area basically. And this part of the neck is a lot warmer, which is nice because that part of the horse is also coming forward towards us. So we'll make that area a lot stronger with the permanent brown. And then I'm going to get more blue in the mix for kind of the top part of the neck. And this is all really dark in here. So we'll go to town on the mixing and get a good dark mix. Pop some naphthol green in there, or a phthalo green I should say, to cut down that purple into a grayer color. And just getting this really dark and this is warmer, so I'm going to add some permanent brown down in here. Quite dark up against here. And then I'm going to get more is. I don't want this to be doing anything, so I'm going to blend that out a bit. Really dark along this crease, this muscle edge. So I'm just trying to get that. I don't know what that is. Some sort of paper problem. I seem to be good at attracting those. I don't know what it is with me and paper, but all right, now there's this crease that's lighter. I'm going to go ahead and lift that out. It comes right about like that. All right, now we can do some splats. And a little bit of salt. Oops. Can I get a little bit of that back in? I don't need all that salt. I literally just need like 10 pieces. Like that. All right, we're gonna let that dry a little bit and then we'll do another splat and kind of work on a few of the dapples individually. I'm gonna lift this while it's still wet though. This actually needs to be a continuous line here. I do want to make sure I have that curve of this pretty shadow here. Let's do a test. See if some of these dapples will come out and play. I'm shaking the excess water off my brush. And then I'm going to try putting some lines in the mane with clear water. Do my little pick up extra pigment and then put a dot of clear water to emphasize some of these. I'm gonna let this dry for about 5 minutes and then do a couple more splats. All right, this is getting a lot drier. I'm gonna try a couple more splats. And that's it, and then I'm gonna let it dry. All right, it's interesting that this didn't cauliflower as extremely as this, but I like these little delicate cauliflowers. So to me, they still look really good. And I think we should do some face details. What do you guys think? I talk to you like you're here. I feel like you're here because you will be soon. So I'm just looking, thinking, do I have everything I need? All right, so I'm actually going to bring my laptop over here so I can look at this eye really nice up and close. And a little bit more detail for this eye. I'm going to get some pure blue, watered down, and just paint some light blue in the eye first. And then I'm going to go for some burnt sienna. In the bottom of the eye, and just let them kind of merge together. And top of the eye kind of comes like this. And there's a pretty good highlight from the sky, so I'm going to lift that out. Maybe put some back in. I don't want that much. So that'll block that eye in like that. Maybe block in the nose while we're at it. Kind of makes a triangle, kind of a rounded triangle shape. So I'm gonna go with that. And this comes up like this. Get some pure lamp black. Get that nice and dark. And then while I have lamp black in my brush, and this is wet, I'll put in the pupil there. And I'll do a lot more to that eye. And there's this little tiny detail in the nose over here. Not too much. And the mouth is, I don't know what, that's such a weird thing in my paper. I hate that, but there it is. All right. It's a pretty stark shadow over his eye right here. Now, I was actually getting tired here. It was noon, and I got the shape. If you look at the reference, there's a triangle shape shadow that kind of sits on top of his eye. And if you can look at that shape,
and paint that shape instead of thinking I'm painting a horse's eye, you'll probably be more successful than I was.
Some bluer.
So here I have more water in my brush to kind of blend that out. And I missed that little indentation of almost pure white light coming in over his eye. So I was just really tired, to be honest, and I didn't get some of these shapes right. So before you start this face, maybe take a break and paint during the hours when your brain is working the best. My brain turns off about noon and really turns off at 2 p.m. So that's a good thing to be self-aware of when you are the freshest. And for me, it's usually earlier in the morning. But I'm using a mix of grayish purple.
I'm getting some tea consistency gray here. Put in a little bit of warm highlights. Nope, my brush had some red in it there.
So to make this gray, I'm using a mix of Indanthrone blue, permanent brown, and here I just put some milk, almost cream consistency, dark along the ridge of his nose bone to create a really nice strong shadow. And that'll dry a lot lighter. So my purple is permanent brown mixed with Indanthrone blue. Maybe with a little green thrown in to gray it down. But he has a purple spot there in that corner. And like I said, I'm going to use a scrubber to lift out some of these little contours that are really fine. So that'll be really fun to do.
Just trying to change the colors in my brush as I move across the planes of his face.
And the bottom part of his face was kind of warmer or more yellow. So you see I put that brown in there, that permanent brown, really watered down, really light. And then I'm doing a little bit of dry brushing here too to create a little bit of that texture in his very short fur on his face. This could have been warmer here in his nose area. And I would probably, if I could paint this part again, I'd put more permanent brown there. No one else is going to tell the difference though. It's only going to matter to me. So it's fine.
It's kind of got some warmth under here, and it's more burnt sienna, I feel like. Maybe even a little bit of aureole warmth. Where the sun is hitting his muzzle. This should be like that though. Let it cauliflower a little bit there. And I'm going to let it rest.